Hello fellow singer, it's Mimi here, and in this video I will give you 3 amazing silent exercises that you can do anywhere to open and free your voice to make singing more comfortable and improve your vocal technique without a sound. I'm going to show you some exercises to practice one of the structures in our vocal tract that's called false vocal folds. Yes, false vocal folds. So these are not the same ones that vibrate to create the sound. False vocal folds are pads of muscular and fatty tissue above our true vocal folds. False vocal folds are one of the 3 parts that opens and closes the larynx. When false vocal folds are closing, the sound won't come out freely. Your voice will feel stiff and it will take a lot of effort to get the sound out, not to mention the sound quality. When it comes to shy singers, this is an especially important structure to take into consideration because when our body goes into the fight or flight mode, it causes the false vocal fold constriction. Even the slightest hesitation, feelings of shame, embarrassment, and anxiety can cause the false vocal folds to close, and this will affect greatly not only on the sound but also how singing feels. For regular speech, the false vocal folds are often in the mid position. If you want to find that trained and open sound, you're gonna have to work on those muscles to find the retracted position of the false vocal folds. But this can take a lot of practice because it's not necessarily something that you're used to doing and it's not in your attractor state. It is also one thing to retract the false vocal folds for 1 second than it is to really keep them retracted as you sing. So this really requires a lot of practice. So be really patient with yourself. On our first exercise, we are going to observe how it feels in the vocal tracts when the false vocal folds are in the retracted position. Okay, so I'm just going to explain all of these prompts first. So if it feels weird, don't worry about it. We will get to it later. So the first prompts that we're gonna use for this exercise is thinking about something really exciting, like really feeling that emotion. You waited something for your whole life and now it's finally here. So really finding that excitement. So you really need to feel these emotions, otherwise nothing will happen. So trying to find that, thinking about something that you're really excited about. And the second prompt is listening something behind you that you can't quite hear, but you're really hard trying to hear it without turning your head. And the third one is silent laugh. So you really want to laugh, something is really funny, but you're not allowed to laugh because you need to be quiet. So those are our 3 prompts for this exercise. And now I want you to place your hand on your throat in a way that your fingers are a little bit on each side so that you can feel what's going on in the vocal tract this way. And now let's try all of these prompts again. And different things works for different singers. So one prompt might not do anything for you. So you need to kind of find the one that works best for you. All right, so let's try it. So first, let's try and find that excitement. Yay! But make sure you don't hold your breath, so try to breathe at the same time. And now observe, can you feel some kind of movement under your fingers? And then let's try the second prompt, listening to the gossip. Really trying to hear. And then the third one we have, that was the silent laugh. And remember to breathe. And now what you might feel under your fingers is a slight expansion in your throat. Let's try these prompts again. So we have excitement, and then we have the gossip, and then we have the silent laugh. Try these, all of these prompts several times, and you might find your favorite one that makes it easiest to find this movement here. And again, remember to breathe calmly. It's so easy to start holding your breath when you're really focusing on some kind of muscle work. So let's try not to do that. And you can do a little shake in your shoulders, rolling your shoulders, trying to find that relaxed feeling, and then trying all of these prompts again. So the excitement, gossip, and the silent laugh. Yes. Note that the movement is not very big. It's just this tiny little slight movement under your fingers. And when you can feel this movement under your fingers, you can also try to feel it without your hand being on your throat, and really trying to tune into the sensations in your vocal tracts. But it's okay if that feels difficult. If this is a completely new thing, then just hold your hand here to make sure that you can actually feel the movement. Let's do them one more time. Excitement. And then the gossip. And the silent laugh. Amazing. The more you practice and try to get familiar with this sensation, the easier it is for you to access this retraction of the false vocal folds when you are singing. So really try and do this practice as often as possible, and it is easy. You can do these kind of exercises anywhere, when you're in a bus, or when you're doing your dishes, or whatever you're doing. You can take a little moment to focus on finding this movement, so it will get easier for you to access. If you find it extremely difficult to find this sensation, don't worry, it just requires practice. It might be difficult if you're not very expressive naturally, because to really retract the false vocal folds, it is easier to find that movement when you really find that expression and feeling. So give yourself some time and try and find a space where there's no one there distracting you, so that you can feel relaxed to actually try these prompts properly. For our second exercise, we will use our breathing to observe the different positions of the false vocal folds. So the first one, we are going to observe the constricted position of the false vocal folds. And for this one, make sure you don't push the air out too hard. So make sure you're being careful. This is not supposed to hurt or tickle or scratch your throat in any way. If it does, just stop. Maybe just like very lightly seeing what the sensation in the vocal tracts feels like. Okay, so we are going to breathe really loudly. So really loudly. And it might help if you try to think of lifting something really heavy, or if you're sitting down, you can try and pull your chair up from under you, like really putting some effort into trying to almost like lift your chair up and breathing at the same time. So this won't sound nice, this won't look very nice either. So let's try that. So pulling the chair up, or pretending that you're lifting something really heavy. So yeah. So that's like a little grunting sound. You can definitely hear the breath there. And if you observe the sensations in your vocal tract, it feels quite tense, and it requires a lot of effort to really get the air out. So you can really definitely feel the structures in your vocal tracts there. Doesn't feel very comfortable, doesn't feel effortless. So now our false vocal folds are constricted. They're coming closer together to close the larynx. This is not always a bad thing in singing, as false vocal folds constriction can be used to create certain sound effects as well. And now let's find the mid position of the false vocal folds. So we are going to breathe calmly with a quiet breathing sound, so that you can definitely feel and hear the breath. So let's try to find that kind of breathing. So in the vocal tract, it feels quite effortless. It doesn't feel the same than the previous one. So the breath moves quite effortlessly. However, you can feel some of the structures, so you can kind of feel the breath moving in your vocal tracts there, and you can hear the breathing sound clearly. And so our false vocal folds are in the mid position here. And now I want you to do that again, trying to find that relaxed feeling and really observing the sensations in your vocal tracts. And at the same time, now as we're doing this, let's go through our body to release any unnecessary tension there. All right, so let's find that quiet breathing. That's where you can hear the sound, but it's not very loud. And now keep breathing this way, and make sure you relax your abdominal muscles, your shoulders, your jaw, tongue, and forehead. And let's keep doing this for a little bit longer. And now you can also take this as a little mindfulness exercise. So every time your mind starts wandering elsewhere, where you realize that you're thinking about something, whatever it is, some kind of thoughts, maybe you're thinking about this exercise, about why you're doing this, or maybe you're thinking about what you're going to eat, or whatever is happening in your life. Let's try and notice that and bring the awareness back to the sensations in the vocal tracts. All right, so let's breathe here for a few more moments. So mid position, relaxing the abdominal muscles, shoulders, jaw, tongue, and forehead. Well done. And then the third one, we have the open position, the retracted position of the false vocal folds that we are often looking as we are singing. It of course depends on the sound a little bit, what we are looking for. So it's not the only option when we sing. But often when the voice feels tense and stiff, we do want the false vocal folds to be open so that the sound will come out freely. So let's find a silent breath. So this time the breathing doesn't create any type of sound, so completely silent breath. If you find it difficult to find that silent breath, you can try and use one of those prompts first to find the retraction of the false vocal folds. And then let's breathe this away for a little bit. And again, when you find that silent breath, scanning through all of the other parts so that you can release any unnecessary tension if this feels comfortable for you to do. So let's find the silent breath. So this breathing doesn't create any type of sound. And if you tune into the sensations in your vocal tracts, you can't really feel the breath moving in there as much. So you can't really feel the structures getting in the way of the breath. It feels really kind of like open and effortless. And then, if you keep breathing this way, let's make sure that you don't carry any unnecessary tension in your abdominal muscles, shoulders, jaw, tongue, and forehead. And again, if you notice that your mind starts wandering, that will likely happen if you keep breathing there silently. Just noticing that and bringing the awareness back to the sensations in the vocal tract. So let's try and do that for a moment. Also remember to be kind to yourself. So if your mind does wander, if it feels difficult to find this silent breath, or if you feel like it's difficult to let go of all of the tension, it's okay. It requires practice. And if you're very used to tensing your body, this might take a while to find the relaxed states in elsewhere in your body. All right, so it's all okay. We are practicing, and every time you come to your practice, something will happen. You will learn something new as long as you're really aware of what you're doing. So you don't have to do everything perfectly all at once. Let's find that silent breath if you had a little pause. Well done. For our third exercise, we are going to find the retracted position of the false vocal folds right away by using the prompts in the beginning, and then we're trying to hold them open for a little bit longer and then relax. And while doing this, if you find it easy to access that retraction, you can start again, making sure that you don't tense anything else. So let's try to work towards only activating these muscles that are necessary for opening the false vocal folds. All right, so pick your prompt. So we had the excitement, yay! We had the gossip, or we had the silent laugh. All right, remember to breathe while you're doing this. So let's pick your prompt. Let's find the retraction. Hold. And relax. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Do a little shake. And then again, pick your prompt. Find the retraction. And then relax everything else. Remember to breathe. And relax, a little shake. And then let's do it one more time. All right, so pick your prompts and retract. And relax. Well done. And remember to hold your hand, your fingers on your throat so that you can really feel it. So that you can make sure that you are making the movement, so that you don't just think you're doing it, but that you can actually feel it. It's a really important so that you're doing the actual muscle workout there, so that we can get these muscles more used to working this way. Amazing work today, everyone. Don't forget to give yourself some credit for showing up and doing this little workout with me. It may feel like a really small thing, but every little bit counts. Every single time that you come to your practice, you're practicing certain settings in your vocal tract, you're singing, you're doing something for your voice. Every single thing will take you somewhere. The main thing is to stay consistent with your practice and come back to it as often as possible. As you start celebrating these small wins, you are also exercising your mindsets and self-compassion, which are essential for singing in a comfortable way and also for your practice motivation. It is amazing how much just mindsets can affect on how much you're practicing. So very often it's not about being lazy or not wanting to do it. It's often in the mindset. So really make a conscious choice to celebrate these tiny little steps that you are taking, because that's what counts in the end, and that is what will take you forward in your vocal journey. Note that you can also start paying attention to your false vocal folds when you're speaking or singing, and seeing how it feels. But don't worry if it feels challenging. I will be making some exercises for the false vocal fold retraction, where we will be using our voices as well in the future. But in this series, we are focusing on just the silent exercises for you to get started and for it to be very easily accessible way to start practicing. Thank you so much for joining me for the first week of silence exercises for shy singers. Thank you. I really appreciate you for being here and practicing with me. I will see you back here next week for the week 2, when we will be focusing on our breathing, doing some amazing breathing exercises, and also carrying the mindset practice along with the physical exercises. In the meantime, make sure that you practice your false vocal fold retraction as much as you can. You can watch this video daily, even several times a day, to make sure that you work on those muscles. It will get easier and easier for you, and it will really help your singing and finding that free and open sound. So make sure you practice, and I will see you back here next week. Also, make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already done so, and give me a thumbs up for this video if you found it helpful. Bye now. Bye.